up, George Mason University? Welcome to Pressbox, your place for everything Mason sports and pro sports, having interviews with your favorite athletes. I am Vandie Barnard.
I'm Buckley.
My name is Lyndse Hokanson.
I'm Demonte Shaw.
And once again, welcome to Pressbox. So guys, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the L yesterday for Mason men's basketball to Delaware. Where do we start?
Oh, man. Can we start with the foul trouble?
Yeah.
It's terrible. We committed, 24 fouls to Delaware's, 19, 15? It's just pitiful. They went to the line 30 times, made 25 out of 30. I don't know, man. Playing hard, intensity was great, but you gotta keep that under wraps.
I mean, Arledge looked great in the first half. I mean, he took over the game, and he came onto the court with the mentality that he's the best player in the court. You know, we had an interview with him earlier in the week, and he said that's how he was going to start approaching games, and that's the mentality that he needs to approach the game with. But when you get into foul trouble, it's hard to be the best player on the court when you're sitting on the bench. Yeah. And with him and Copes, they were the two leading contributors, and they're sitting on the bench with 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. I think we played down 8 or 9 almost all game. You can't win a game when you're down with that kind of a buffer.
Yeah, definitely. One thing we really need to step up with is the perimeter defense. I think on the offensive end, we executed pretty well, but defensively, perimeter defense definitely needs to step up.
We were trading buckets. I mean, it's fine when you're going down and executing. Like you said, we were executing. But when you're not getting any stops, it doesn't really matter because we're trading bucket for bucket, but we're already down by 8. So every run
that we made, there was a response from Delaware. Yeah. So every single time we tried to break down that lead, they came back and hit a big bucket and really set us back.
The problem was when we never had the lead at all in the game. So we playing from behind the whole time, and it's not starting off slow both halves. And you can't have that. Another thing is, Sherrod Wright, we kind of did get him going. So it seems like this is a trend most games where we don't really get him the ball, feed him the ball, don't get him going. What is it that we can do? Because obviously we need to switch something up in order to get more production offensively.
I mean, right now it seems it's either the big man or Sherrod. It can't be both. I think we've got to find that balance. I mean, yesterday this past game, it was nothing but the big men, Copes and Arledge. But I think, if we get Sherrod in there contributing 10 to 12 and Copes and Arledge both getting those same numbers they were pulling, that's what we need. We need a balance of both, and right now it's either one or the other.
Yeah,
I agree. We have to find that steady mix, and as well as mixing Brian Allen into the mix. He started stepping up as Copes and Arledge got into foul trouble, and when Sherrod Wright wasn't necessarily there in the offensive end. He had a couple, I think 3 or 4 big buckets down the stretch of the game that we really needed to try to close that gap.
I mean, Marco was disappointing in the game. I mean, he had a lot of good looks, especially from behind the arc and a lot of time, 4 or 5 feet, and just wasn't knocking anything down, and that hurt us a lot because we weren't rebounding offensively, and when we were rebounding, we weren't getting those second chance points.
Yeah. Another thing that killed us also was 10 to 2 in fast break points. I mean, nothing easy going down the court. So you're talking about having to set up, and obviously we didn't get much production there. So that's something we definitely have to turn around.
Yeah, definitely missed opportunities. I mean, they had a lot of good shots, a lot of good looks, but Patrick Holloway, our sharpshooter, he had no points. But he had good looks, just some shots just weren't falling for us. So, that game gave me hope that if we can get it, like you said, if we can get Sherrod Wright going and have the production from the big men, we've got a good team.
Yeah. So looking ahead real quick, next game at Drexel, 7-5 in the CAA right now. Definitely not where we wanted to be or where we thought we should be in the CAA right now. So where do we go from to turn things around here? Because obviously we need to definitely play better in our own conference to have a chance anywhere else.
Yeah, we got to get a win on the road. I think if we get a win on the road, we bring our confidence back up. We got to get a win by a big number, I think. I think that's the biggest thing. When your team's struggling, you got to go and pound somebody and get your confidence back.
Booster,
And I think, the other day, that could have been it. We got up by 20 points. That's the type of game that you want to start getting your confidence up. And, you drop that game, and now it goes the opposite way. And so I think if we're able to go and pick up a big win, bring it back home and start getting the fans back involved. We want something to cheer for.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Well, that's good. Well, hopefully we can turn it around and switch things up real quick to the women's basketball team. Great win today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about time. Came into the game 1-8, facing a decent team in William and Mary, a little bit ahead of us in the conference. down by 2 late. And we cut it back down to 1 and had a foul. Girl went down, missed the front end of a 1-and-1, came down. We called a timeout. There was like 13 seconds left on the clock. The refs went and looked, cut it down to 9 seconds, which the fans, which actually there were a decent amount there today, which is exciting, weren't too pleased about. It was a Think Pink game, so there was a lot of pink, and girls had pink shoes. It was pretty sick. But yeah, so we get a good chance coming down, draw up a play, come out of the break. Renika Saunders gets a look right along the baseline, 2-point jumper, 3 seconds left. She nails it. Play defense. The girl chucked up, a hopeless 3-pointer and ended up pulling out the win. It was really exciting. I talked to Coach last week and asked her, how do you keep the team motivated? 1-8, you're going into the second half of the CAA. Top 9 teams make the conference tournament. How do you keep them motivated to try and grab one of those spots? Because there's a pretty distinct drop-off. Delaware's sitting undefeated at the top of the conference. Yeah. They got this girl who's unreal. And everybody else falls in line, but there's a pretty distinct cutoff in the middle. There's teams sitting at 3 and something, 2 and something, 1 and something, and then the rest are at 6 and whatever. So there's that break. William and Mary was kind of right in the middle. They were at 3 and whatever. And so today was a big game for us. Joyce Tharrington put up another double-double, and Rob put up double digits, another girl in double digits. And today, the best thing was they looked like they were enjoying themselves, and they were really playing with heart. And I think Coach and the team is pleased because now they're looking at the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. All they got to do is get 4 or 5 wins, get themselves into the CAA, just like the men, and anything can happen then.
Exactly.
And so exactly, and it was a good way. It was a feel-good win. Hitting the bucket right at the end, getting the crowd really pumped up, and it was exciting. I wish more people could be there to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully this builds momentum for both the men's and women's basketball team, definitely to strengthen our standings in the CAA. So right now, Demonte, got some track news for us, got some track updates.
I sure do. Yeah, got a little something for you. The George Mason track and field team, we recently participated in the Spire Institute Invitational held in Geneva, Ohio. We set 3 meet records, one in the 400-meter men's with senior David Verberg, and he ran a time of 45.83 seconds, which is pretty impressive. The guy's going to be a future Olympian one day. The men's 4x400-meter relay team, led by senior David Verberg, with the junior Adrian Vaughn, senior George Empty, and freshman Angel Coburn. I'm sorry if I messed that up. They set a meet record with a time of 3 minutes and 7 seconds. So that's really big. And then the third meet record was set by the women's 4x400-meter relay team. And they set it with a time of 3 minutes, 38 seconds, led by senior Sierra McGee, junior Deanna Barron, junior Siobhan Briscoe, and junior Dominique Graham. And I'm really sorry if I messed your names up. I want to get you your props. Congratulations to you all. And
big props.
Yeah, they're qualifying to take on their next track meet.
Yeah, that segues into some of the upcoming games. Like Demonte said, the next track meet is at the Virginia Tech Invitational, which is this upcoming Friday, and that starts at 9 a.m. Some of the other big games, some big matchups, wrestling at ODU on Thursday at 7:30. Volleyball versus Rutgers Newark. This is on Friday at 7 p.m. And Saturday, big basketball game versus Georgia State.
We had one this past weekend. Was their first EIVA, their conference. They don't play in the CAA, they play in the EIVA. They came home last weekend and beat Princeton 3-1, and it was really, really good momentum builder for the rest of the EIVA. Kind of wipes clean the rest of their games. Princeton came in 1-1. Mason came in 2-5, which doesn't look all that impressive, but obviously a lot more experience, and it definitely showed. Stomped Princeton into the ground, so it looks good. They got 2 big matchups coming up this weekend, which will really show kind of where they stand in the conference, I think.
Definitely. We're going to switch things over. Andre Howard's going to step in. We're going to move over to pro sports and be right back on the press box. What's up, Mason? Welcome back to Pressbox.
Hi, I'm Andre Howard.
All right, and so we're going to jump right into some pro sports right now. Talk about the Super Bowl from last week, Ravens-Niners. What y'all think about the game, first of all?
It's a great game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. My favorite part was Jacoby Jones scoring twice, getting to see him do his thing in the end zone. I'm a huge fan of his touchdown dances.
Jacoby, definitely. I feel like he should have won the MVP, honestly, to me.
Yeah.
But aside from the power outage, it was a great game.
It was
a great game.
Yeah.
So, if the power outage didn't happen, do we think it would have even been a game at all? Think the Niners would have got back in it?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah,
the Ravens would have took
Just rolled
him
them straight on them. Yeah.
After half, when they came out and Jacoby ran that all the way back 109 yards, that kickoff return, I thought, wow, this game's going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
This game's going to be a
It's
blowout.
wrap.
Then, immediately after that, the power outage happened, and I don't know, 49ers had some time to think about it, and...
Thank Beyonce for that one.
Thank you.
That performance was just mind-blowing, man. And when Kelly Rowland and Michelle came out, I died.
That's
I
nice
really
job.
did. Like, it's gonna be hard to top that. I'm gonna have to get like 2 chains or something.
2 chains. Oh, no, honestly, it's like to my opinion, Kelly Rowland made the show, but I'm not like a big Beyonce fan,
Yeah.
so it was like a hit. It was like a miss for me. So that's just,
I thought overall the performance was really, really good, though.
yeah.
Like overall, the lights, the everything that was going on, the whole stage, how they had the fans around, and how from the aerial view you could see the different lights on the stage, and how it was actually like a face, and I thought that was really, really cool.
Definitely.
Did y'all see the pictures circulating of like her mid dances, and it looks like she's going like Super Saiyan? It's not flattering. It's kind of terrible.
That's Beyonce, man.
Hey, Beyonce, great job. But let's talk about the Super Bowl MVP, Mr. Joe Cool Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
So, I mean, man's going to be paid. How much would he be paid? That's the question, though.
I mean, that goes to the question: is he a truly an elite quarterback?
I think this playoff run showed that. He tied, I believe it was Joe Montana for 11 touchdowns with
picks.
no interceptions.
Yeah.
Postseason,
I mean, Joe Montana did do that in 3 games. Flacco did it in 4.
Right.
But still, that is extremely impressive.
Yeah. I think it's really hard not to pay a Super Bowl MVP quarterback. Like, you just can't. You can't let that guy go. Like,
You want
the
that
city
Drew
of
Brees
Baltimore would just flip that. That town would be flipped upside down.
Sure,
So.
but that Drew Brees money, too. I
Yeah.
mean, because we also got to look
100
at
million?
it. All those free agents. I mean, we talk about the Anquan Bolden possibly, maybe not coming back. Ed Reed, Paul Kruger, they got some big. Ray Lewis is gone now, so you have to bring back. You got to keep that defense together.
Yeah.
You pay Flacco all this money, can't bring something back. So it's kind of you at a crossroads in terms of what to do. So you pay him Drew Brees money, let some guys go, or, I mean, it's a tough situation.
Yeah.
But you also see Joe Flacco kind of transitioning the Baltimore into more of an offensive team.
Sure,
Because,
that's true.
with Ray Lewis there in the the early 2000s, they were pure defensive team.
Yeah.
And then Joe comes in, and the level that he's been playing, which I think he has been playing at an elite level, he's really stepped up with their offense and the receiver pickups that they've brought in. Torrey Smith has been playing out of his mind, along with Anquan Bolden. Every single time you throw it up to, they're coming down with it, no matter where it's thrown. 2 receivers on them, 1, it doesn't matter. They're coming down with the ball.
Yeah.
Also, you have to look at the coaching. Like that mid-coach change from Cam Cameron to Jim Caldwell.
Yeah.
That was a big step for them.
Yeah.
Like,
Bold move, but it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out.
It definitely helped them out.
All right, well, we'll see what they do with Flacco. I mean, only time will tell. I think he's going to get his money. Question is how much? Is that Drew Brees money he's looking for? I think they'll pay him. They got to bring back some key pieces. I think they will. I feel you can't lose both Ed Reed and Ray Lewis in the same offseason. I mean, I think Ed's a big part of there. I mean, you might want to go younger, but they do draft well. So I think Baltimore will be fine. They'll be able to work that out, bring Joe Flacco back, because I do agree he is transitioning to elite quarterback. But let's transition on. Got some All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Weekend coming up. All right. So, I mean, we got the Celebrity All-Star Game, the actual All-Star Game, dunk contest, 3-point, the Rising Stars Game. Which one are we looking forward to the most?
Well, I heard Kevin Hart was in the celebrity game. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
He put on a show last year. I could not stop laughing, so I mean, he was the talk of All-Star Weekend.
That man is a fool. He's a fool.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, some of the lineup in the celebrity game is Kevin Hart, Trey Songz, Neo, Usain Bolt, and some old NBA stars, Dikembe Mutombo, Clyde Drexler, Sean Elliott, and Bruce Bowen. So, yeah,
Should be interesting.
That's good.
It's a nice mix of stars and NBA stars and, actors and actors.
A lot of people sleep on the stars, but they can ball,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Trey Songz out there do a little dunk or something.
It's not that far. I mean, shoot, remember Bieber, came out a couple years ago. He balled out.
Yeah.
The boy got some game.
He does.
Give him that.
Whichever team Kevin Hart's on now, he's gonna win. They're gonna win it. They're gonna get the game. It don't matter.
The man gets buckets.
I don't know. For me, I'm looking forward to that. To the All-Star dunk contest.
Yeah. Yep.
Got some new faces on there. Got Bledsoe, Gerald Green, Kenneth Fareed.
Yeah, Terrence Ross is on there as well.
Yeah.
And definitely, I feel like Fareed might have a decent shot. His jumping ability is outstanding.
Yeah. So speaking of dunk contest, who we got? Who's our picks for the dunk contest?
I personally think Terrence Ross of the Raptors is going to take it. He's nice young guy. He's got his rookie. Tons of jumping ability. I mean, like you said with Kenneth Fareed, tons of athletic ability. So I'd like to see what he brings.
No Jeremy Evans for the repeat?
No.
Can't forget
the first one.
Can't forget Gerald Green is in there as well. He was the 06 champion.
Yeah.
That's your pick?
That's my pick.
Oh, Gerald Green.
I like his hops.
We're waiting on LeBron, to stop backing out.
He needs to come, man.
He's gotta come out.
Hey, LeBron, this is a personal message. Come out, man.
This is
come
from
out. Dunk
Mason.
contest is from Mason.
From
We
Mason.
want
Gotta
you.
come out.
All right?
What
One year.
Just one.
All right, so besides the dunk contest, let's go to the three-point contest. All right, who we got for that? Got some good competition. You want to run them off real quick, Perry?
Yeah, for the three-point contest, we have, for the West, we have Paul George, Kyrie Irving, Steve Novak, and for the East, I apologize, for the East that was. For the West, Ryan Anderson, Matt Bonner, and Stephen Curry.
Ooh.
So who?
I was about to say
Some tough competition,
Steve
but
Novak.
Yeah,
You
we
said
got Curry
Steph
there,
though.
man.
yes.
He's got a nice job. Oh, man.
Kyrie gets buckets, though.
Yeah, Kyrie.
Uncle Drew.
Uncle Drew.
Uncle Drew.
Ooh.
That's
All
a
he do
tough
is score.
one. I'm going to go with Curry. I want to say Novak, but I can't go against Curry. I think he's going to win it.
I'm going to stick with Novak.
I'll stick with Novak.
I think he
The
might.
discount, double check.
I'm going to go my boy, Uncle Drew.
Drew.
Kyrie, if you hear this, I'm backing you, man. I want you to ball out.
All right.
I'm going to go with Ryan Anderson of New Orleans.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
little dark horse pick.
Okay.
Let's see how that works
See what
out.
happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, after all this is done, we forget there's the actual All-Star game. After all these festivities go,
As well.
I mean,
That's something important,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, so of course, All-Star looking different from the past couple of years. Got some injuries, so the lineup's going to be a little different. Perry, you want to go?
Yeah, the starting five for the West, these are the leading vote getters from the fans. We're going to be Kobe Bryant, Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, Blake Griffin, and Kevin Durant. And then for the East, it's going to be Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, who is hurt, so Chris Bosh was the next leading vote getter, so I believe he'll probably take his spot in the starting lineup, along with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade.
James Wade, yes.
That's
James
might as
Wade.
well. I mean,
That's just an undefeated.
That would be amazing.
Man.
So who do you think has a better? I mean, these are just the starters, but overall, I know you've seen both the benches. Who do you think has a better roster?
That's a tough choice.
this is a
Say
real
that.
tough
it's
one.
real
As far
tough.
as chemistry, the West.
Yes.
Because the East, all their guys, they just can't stand each other. You got Garnett and
Luckily,
Carmelo.
Rondo's not in there because Rondo could have stayed Melo, he could have stayed
He can't
LeBron, he could have
stand.
stayed Wade. So I don't know how it's going to work out.
And and then Garnett and Anthony and their whole beef. And
Man,
it's
it's gonna be a
street fight
challenge.
against the East. I'd be lucky if they make it out the locker room. So the West is just-
So see what we go with the
Take it.
West on this one, pretty much.
They got all the high flyers. You got Blake Griffin. You got Chris Paul. You got
You got Durant.
the
Yeah.
Black
You
Mamba.
got Durant.
Yeah.
The top, top three of
Yeah,
the top five
the
scorers, right
leading
there.
Yep.
scorers.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly.
the West usually takes it. So
Yeah, I
they're-
think the
they're
West
gonna
will get it
continue
this
that
year.
streak.
I mean, I think I look into more like the bench more than anything. Like the East, they have Kyrie. Kyrie's a busy man this
Yes,
week.
busy
He's
weekend.
a
He is,
busy man.
yeah.
He has that, the Rising Stars Challenge, the three-point shootout.
Drop them buckets.
Yeah, you know.
Some kids have to play the fundamentals of basketball.
Don't reach, young blood.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, one thing, since we're All-Star Weekend, one thing that gets me about All-Star Weekend is sometimes it's a popularity contest in terms of who goes in. There's a couple starters in there. Maybe we throw out his name, Dwight Howard. That shouldn't be started. I mean, so you know, I gotta adjust my back real quick.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, we always got a couple guys that are in just because popularity.
Just for the name, man. Just for the name.
I mean, because we look at Dwight. I mean, Dwight's numbers are still. I mean, they're all right for an average guy, but I mean, Dwight's no scrub.
All-Star?
He's for All-Star.
Not to be a
He's supposed to be
starting,
averaging more.
starting all-star for the
Yeah.
West.
Maybe if he made it in as like a injured reserve. Not as a just solid starter. Like he's had a down season, injuries, and just I like the mental aspect. Like playing with Kobe.
It's an adjustment for him. It's an adjustment for him.
He's not used to like that guy being there in his face, making him be accountable. So he's just not the same guy right now.
True. Well, he has to learn, you know, sooner or later. Because
Kobe's
Kobe's trying to get another ring. You know?
Yeah.
So he gotta.
He's never been pushed as hard, you know, as Kobe's pushing him right now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know how to handle it because in Orlando, he was the guy.
Yeah.
So he was the one that was probably pushing the other players to try to, you know, win that championship. But Kobe, like you said, he's trying to win his 6th. You know,
He don't got time to
he knows how to get it done.
He does.
So, so Howard either, you know, needs to come along with Kobe as he's pushing him or, you know, stay out of the way, pretty much.
But if you think about it this way, if Kobe does get his 6th, do you compare him to Jordan? Or that's a whole nother topic.
Getting his 6th this
maybe.
year with this current roster, is that what you're saying?
Or just like his 6th in general. Like, do you feel like he'll be on the same status as Jordan?
Well, the conversation is going to start, but Jordan's in the class of his own. He's in the class of his own.
Yes.
I mean, we definitely have to give Kobe his props if he does get a 6, because he's done it with a few different teams, a few different makeups. Those times when they're struggling a little bit, when he was pretty much there's no help for him at all. So we definitely have to give Kobe his props if he gets that 6. Whether he's in the class of Jordan,
Let's say he's not there.
But say he
yet.
doesn't get that 6th. Is he still right there with Jordan? Or does he need to get that 6th to be there? Because I feel like right now,
he needs that 6 for sure.
He needs that 6.
He needs that 6 for sure. If not 7, you know.
And if he gets 7, you know.
That's just.
it's a different conversation.
I
Gets
feel
that
like
7.
Kobe is like our generation's Jordan. Like I feel like in the next couple generations, not that they're gonna forget about Jordan, but a more relevant comparison will be like, oh, you know, Kobe. Because you look at Kobe, his playing style is very similar to Jordan. And I realized watching him play a lot. I mean, that little turnaround jumper, like he has his spots on the court where he's just like knocked down.
Automatic, yeah.
So I think, I don't know about comparing him to Jordan, but I think he'll be like that Jordan figure, like in the future.
Yeah, I mean, the Jordan comparisons always come up, but there's only one Jordan. There's only one Jordan. Now there'll be guys that might come close in terms of styles of play or just the overall body of work, but I don't think anybody can pass Jordan. I mean, we got a Jordan probably could have 8 if it was for those 2 years that he took off.
To play baseball,
So Jordan could probably have 8. So, I mean, speaking of Jordan, turns 50. Congratulations to the greatest player of all time. But
Big 5-0.
the big 5-0. So we'll see what happens with that. But in All-Star Weekend, it's going to be a big weekend. Definitely got to check that out. We'll see what happens. Discuss that next week. We got to give a shout out to Matt, Tech guy.
My resident.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. Got to give a shout out to Jake, of course. Got to give a shout out to Jake.
Doing all the work here.
For getting us going.
Yes, Pat Carroll, thank you. Thank you. Once again, also, thank you to Lyndse.
Yes.
Thank you, George Mason University, so much. We'll see you next week. This is Perry, Vandie, Andre, Demonte. This is Pressbox. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
We out.
We out.
Peace.